Namaste viewers, welcome to Jnana channel. Today we'll go through the story of King Vikramaditya and the Vetal. This is another story. But before we go to the story, I request you to please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Now coming back to the story, King Vikramaditya was a very great legendary ruler. He was known for his bravery, wisdom, and he was a great devotee of Ma goddess Kali. He was a very good ruler. He cared very deeply for his people and ensured that his kingdom was always peaceful, prosperous, and then the people were happy, very happy. He was always after spiritual pursuits, though he was after spiritual pursuits, he never neglected his duties as king, duties as a great king, and had a remarkable system, a very well kept system. He was keeping an eye on everything that was happening in his kingdom and the neighboring lands also, neighboring countries. One day, King Vikramaditya was in his court. He was sitting on his throne. A sage appeared before him. A great sage, a great rishi appeared before him. Of course, the king's court was always open to the public. Anybody could come and then anybody could go, walk in and then walk out anytime. And then he could put forth his problems to the king. So the visit was not unusual. Many people would come submit their representations to the king about their difficulties and then go away. And the king would attend to all those difficulties and then solve those problems. But in this case, what the sage did was something very surprising. He did not utter a word, he did not say anything. He came inside, handed over a a king-sized mango to the king, and handing it over to him, he quickly walked away without waiting for anything. So now the king kept this mango aside. Whatever he received, he would keep it. He kept it as usual. And then he attended to his regular duties as a king and his personal duties. The next day also, the same sage, the same rishi came to this court hall and did the same thing. He gave another mango and then walked away quietly. This continued for several days. And he kept on coming and then he kept on handing over a mango. It puzzled the king. King was very much, he was very curious. What is this? What is happening? So he was curious about this fruit also. So the king decided to test one fruit. Let me see what is this. And thus, So he saw a monkey nearby, near the palace. He tossed this mango to that monkey. The monkey caught out a hold of this mango, and then the monkey took a bite of the mango. After a few bites, it spat something out. It's something out, it spat, and just moved away. The king bent down to see what it was, because it was glittering, it was dazzling, and then it was all in shine. And he was shocked to find that a large, dazzling ruby was inside this mango. So the king was alarmed. He rushed to examine the other mangoes which he had kept it aside. Each mango, when he cut through the mango, he saw a beautiful ruby in it, a large size ruby in each mango. The king was both astonished and he was confused also. So he thought, why this sage is giving me such a valuable gift without explanation? He is not seeking anything, he is just giving it and then going away. So now he wanted to find out why this sage, why this rishi was giving this fruit. The next time when the sage visited, the king stopped him. He didn't allow him to go. He said, "Who are you, sir? Why are you giving me these precious gifts? I am a king and I cannot accept them without knowing your intentions." And the king said very firmly, "Knowing without your intentions, I cannot accept these gifts." The rishi smiled and said, "O king, I am a devotee of Ma, goddess Kali. Just like you. You are also a devotee of Kali. I am also a devotee of Kali. And I know that you are a very brave and noble ruler. And you are a very great ruler. I want your help. I want to give you a task. That task requires somebody with extraordinary courage, with extraordinary skills, with extraordinary, without any fear, some brave, courageous king I want. That is why I am offering you these gifts to prove my sincerity. All these things I have given you." And he asked, "Will you be able to help me?" As usual, the king was curious to know more and more about it. He agreed. He agreed to help the sage. The sage's face was smiling. He was happy. He said, "On the next moonless night, that is on Amavasya, on the next Amavasya, that is New Moon Day, please come to the burial ground near the forest." A burial ground was there, a big burial ground near the forest of this nearby kingdom, nearby his kingdom. "I will explain everything there," he said. Of course, on the appointed night, on the Amavasya, King Vikramaditya arrived at this eerie burial ground. No one is there. It's silent. It's filled with lot of nocturnal birds and animals. It's having a very scary atmosphere there, very scary indeed. Of course, the sage, the rishi was waiting for him. He greeted him and he pointed to the forest. He said, in the middle of the forest, you go in the middle of the forest, you will find a very big tamarind tree. Hunase mara, they call it tamarind tree. When you go there, you will see a corpse, a dead body hanging from its branches. A dead body is hanging from its branches. I want you to bring that corpse, that dead body to me, because it is essential for a ritual which I am performing for the blessings of the goddess Kali. I seek the blessings of this goddess. I need that corpse. Of course, the king found this request very strange. Who would ask this kind of who would make this kind of a request? But he had given his word. He has promised the sage that whatever he asked for, he would fulfill that. So he set out into the dark forest. He just walked into this dark forest on the dark Amavasya day. Of course, he saw this tamarind tree there. Then he also saw a corpse hanging from it, a dead body hanging from this tree. Without any hesitation, without any fear, without any apprehension, he just climbed the tree, removed the body down, cut the body down, and slung it over his shoulder and then started walking. Just as he began walking back to the sage, he heard a strange giggle. He was startled. He was not afraid, but he was startled. The king dropped the corpse. And to his amazement, it flew back to the tree and hung upside down there. The corpse legs were hanging and the head and the hands were pointing towards the ground. At first, the king thought it was some kind of a trick. But he approached the body again. It remained lifeless. It was a dead corpse. So now the king was more and more curious, determined to fulfill his promise to the sage. The king climbed the tree once more and retrieved the corpse. As he carried the corpse, the body moved slightly, and the king instinctively asked, "Who are you?" The moment he spoke, the corpse flew back to the tree again. That is when the king realized it was haunted by a spirit, a Vetala. And he also understood that the Vetala would return to the tree every time he broke his silence, every time he spoke. Whenever he spoke, the Vetala would return back to the tree and then hang upside down. Now the king has understood that he has to carry the corpse and he should not speak to the Vetal. Undeterred, King Vikramaditya climbed the tree again, took the body, retrieved the body, and began his journey in silence. He did not speak a word, he did not utter a word. The Vetal, which had been in this body, the dead body, impressed by the king's determination, finally it started speaking. It spoke, "O King Vikramaditya, Vikrama, I am Vetal. You are brave and wise. I see some greatness in you. I know you will not speak. I know you have understood that if you speak, I will go back. But I will speak. It's a long, long journey for you, and it's a tedious one for you. And so I will tell you stories. I will tell you a story to pass the time so that you will not feel your fatigue. And thus began the legendary tales of King Vikramaditya and the Vetal, where each story tested the king's wit, king's wisdom, king's intelligence in ways no one could imagine. So, viewers, this is the story, the beginning of this Vikram Vetal story. In our future, in the coming days, we will go through all these stories. These are quite interesting stories, and then quite, relaxing things which when you hear, you relax. So we will conclude this story here. I hope the story was quite interesting and then quite entertaining. I request you to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and keep listening to stories and keep listening to a lot of information, lot of things, from this channel. Thank you.